Hello and welcome to my Reiki Share Circle. I am Jen Merritt of Jen Merritt Live Life Happy. And tonight we're going to talk about Reiki and energy healing. We're going to do a little bit of self practice. We're going to practice sending out, expanding our energy fields and sending some Reiki to other people. And yeah. So we're going to get started. So what I'm going to do after the circle is completed is I'm going to share with you a PDF that I have. There we go. A PDF that I have about energy healing and Reiki. So I'm going to share a bit of that with you right now. Sorry, this is my dog. So energy healing is a term used for any form of complementary or alternative medicine that is based in the belief that energy flows throughout the body. So that would include Reiki, acupuncture, touch therapy, EFT tapping, Qigong, light therapy. So any of those modalities help to balance out the body, helping it to return to a state of homeostasis. So in particular with Reiki, it helps improve our complete body functioning. So on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And did I say emotional? Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritual. So usually I have clients when when their session is complete, they usually say that they feel really calm, but also energized, like motivated to continue their day and carry out whatever tasks that they need to do, but in a really nice and calm, peaceful manner. So um, I would say initially what you feel with Reiki would be the emotional benefits. Um, but it also helps you with your sleep, your digestion, your sense of well being, a greater relief of pain and excuse me, anxiety and depression. So it's important to note too that Reiki um, does not treat disease. It doesn't replace any modern medicine or medications that you might be involved in or taking, but it can help you. It can be a good support for any other treatments that you might be receiving. It can help support our well-being and strengthening our natural ability to heal. It can help with our mindset, which can be really important if you are suffering through any illness or pain. And just a quick little history of Reiki. It was developed, or I guess I'm going to say it was downloaded into Master Usui's consciousness. He's from Japan back in 1922. So the concept of Reiki as we know it now is only 100 years old, which is pretty fascinating. Now, Reiki itself and this form of healing may not have always been called Reiki, but this form of healing has been used for centuries. But Master Usui was the one to put it in, uh, put a name to it and treat it like something that he can teach others. So he shared it with his students. Those students, worked up their ranks in their learning, became masters themselves, and they taught other students. So that's how it sort of evolved. And I think it was in the late 1930s when it was actually introduced to Canada, and that's where I'm from. So it really hasn't been around the way that we know it for all that long. But I do find that there's definitely more of an awareness of it, which I think is amazing. And so the date right now is November 23rd, 2022. And tomorrow evening, I'm actually going to be interviewing a friend of mine who is the president of the Center of Reiki Research. And I'm really excited to interview her and have her share with us some of their findings on Reiki itself. So I'll also share too that Reiki is often said that it uses the universal life force energy. So a way to look at this is really it's just the energy that's all around us. So everything that is living and breathing has an energy inside of it, outside of it, surrounding it everywhere. So all we're doing when someone's receiving Reiki is you're really just using, or you're receiving, sorry, that pure energetic, I don't know, it's just pure energy, and it's just filled with healing. It goes, where it's necessary. It's like it knows what's best for you, and um it's an all-knowing energy. You can call it what you like. In the Reiki field, we call it the universal life force energy. The way that I look at it is, if I were to explain what energy is I look at it as wind. So with the wind, you can't see it. It doesn't have a physical substance that we can see. It's not a physical matter, but you can see the effects of the wind, and you can also feel the effects of the wind. So this energy is exactly the same thing. You can see the effects, over time, and you can instantly, when you're receiving a session, feel the effects. So if you're not familiar with Reiki, when you're receiving Reiki, it's um, the practitioner will gently place their hands on your body. So you lay on a table, you're fully clothed. You start on your back. Some practitioners may ask you to flip over onto your belly, and they'll also do your back. But it's just a gentle placing of hands, so there's no massage, there's no movement. Typically, what you would feel with most practitioners, probably all, I know for myself, my hands really get hot, so you would feel the heat coming off of my hands. Um, what else was I going to say? Some recipients can have like an emotional reaction to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just your body um, coming into a state where it feels safe to release those emotions. Um, you could also feel like a tingling. Some people often feel like their belly gurgling, and those are all signs that the Reiki is moving through you. So the other thing I want to point out too is that when the practitioner that is, placing their hands, it's this energy isn't coming from the practitioner. So it's not something that like I am giving from myself to you. It's an energy that's flowing through me. So the practitioner acts like a channel for this energy. It's energy that's flowing through me and into you. So the really fascinating thing is when you are giving Reiki to somebody, you're also receiving it. So that I think that's just the coolest thing. So as you're, healing, you are, or facilitating healing for somebody, or assisting to facilitate healing for somebody, you're also receiving healing energy, which I think is super fascinating. So what I'm going to get you to do, just adjust myself here, is I'm going to get you to close your eyes. We're going to do just a couple minutes of a meditation to get ourselves into an aligned state, a grounded state, where we're focused and mindful on what we're going to do next, which is we're going to do some practicing. So if you need to grab a drink, I'm going to grab a drink real quick. Okay, so I'm going to get you to close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes with you. I'll get you to take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Deep breath in and exhale slowly through your mouth. One more deep breath in. So I would love for you to visualize a ball of light at your heart center. Now, using your imagination, or maybe you can intuitively see it, this ball of light could be golden, it could be sparkly, it could have other colors. Right now I'm picturing like a golden white light, almost an ombre, where in the center it's almost white and on the outside is gold. And what I want you to do is take that ball of light and we're going to send it down our spine. Make sure you're in a comfortable position, and we'll uncross our legs. So sending that white ball of light, or that golden ball, sparkly, glimmer, iridescent, whatever it looks like for you, sending it down through our root. And we're going to send it down through our chair, down through the floor, the foundation, through the topsoil, down through the dirt and the rock and the crust. And we're going to bring that light right to the core of the earth, and we're going to connect. So that light, I'm picturing it like a beam. So that beam is what's connecting to the core. And then we're going to travel up, just bringing that ball of light back up, guiding it through all the layers of the earth, coming back up through the foundation and our floor and our seat, and all the way back up to our heart center. And then we're going to take that light and we're going to send it up. It's going to travel up through our throat, up through our skull, up through the crown of our head. It's going to travel through the ceiling and the roof and the sky and the atmosphere. And we're going to find something to attach it to, whether that be a planet, a star, a galaxy. To the moon or any moon. And let's attach of feeling connected above and below. So same thing, it's a beautiful beam of light shining down and shining up. And then we're going to ask that ball of light to come back down. And it'll come down through the atmosphere and the sky and our roof and ceiling and back in through the crown, stopping at our heart center. And then we're going to take that light and start pressing it towards the outside of your body. So press it against like your skin. So you're filling up the inside of your body with the same light. And then expand it further so that light is on the outside of your body. And see if you can take it a little bit further, creating like your own little bubble of light. And then see if you can expand even further into your room, filling up your room. Maybe your home or wherever you're at. In your yard, your town. See if you can spread it out even further so it's pressing up against the atmosphere of the earth. And then expanding even more. And then draw it back. Maintain that feeling of expansion, but draw that light back into yourself. So we're connected back in to our body. So hopefully you're feeling really relaxed already and mindful. So when you're ready, I'll ask you to open your eyes. And the first thing that we're going to practice while we're here is called a Reiki ball. So I'm going to back up a little bit. So the Reiki ball, to get us started, we're going to rub our hands together and create that friction. And maybe you've done this. Maybe you did this as a kid. So get them warm. Do whatever feels right for you. And then you're going to take those hands apart. And I want you to feel into it, play around with it, see if you can feel a density. Hold on. Yeah. See if you can feel a density. And then similar to what we just did with that ball of light, can we make this bigger? Can we stretch it? Feel around, feel that density. If you're not feeling this, that's totally fine. You can take practice. Maybe your hands get a little warm. So what I want you to do right now, and again, if you're not feeling this, that's totally fine. Anyone watching here live or in the replay, the Reiki energy is still flowing between all of us. So energy is not limited to time and space. So anybody could be watching this replay a year from now, 5 years from now, and this energy is still here. So we're going to practice placing our hands on ourselves. And then we're going to practice sending Reiki energy to others. Okay. So I just want you to close your eyes for a second and let out another deep breath. And we're going to place our hands somewhere, either on our shoulders, heart center, on our belly, on our lap. It doesn't matter. You can even do the top of your head, whatever feels good for you. I'm going to do my heart center. So just allow the energy to flow. There's no need to do anything else. You don't need to manipulate it in any way. You don't need to send it to any area of your body. It will go exactly where it needs to go and do exactly what it needs to do in this moment. And it's important to mention that whether you're practicing Reiki on yourself or on others, that every session could be different or every practice could be different. So session to session and person to person can be different. We're all different people, and you could have the same client 17 times and each session could be similar. They'll receive, the relaxation and that sort of thing, but different things could come up in a session. So I find it best to just let it be. It will be what it will be. It'll do as it will do. And you can leave your hands here or place them down on your lap. And if you'd like to think of a person that you'd love to send some of this universal life force energy to, just picture them in your mind. It's always good to ask, even if they're not here, you can still energetically ask them permission if they would like to receive Reiki. Using your intuition, if you get a feeling that the answer is no, or if you get a feeling that the answer is yes, continue as such. So if the answer is no, you choose a new person. If the answer is yes, just keep picturing them in your heart, in your mind. We'll stay here just for a few more minutes. That's good. So hopefully you felt something from that. If not, that's okay. It can take practice. Now, um, I'm sharing this as if maybe you have never taken Reiki before. If you have, that's amazing. And I hope that you still got, something out of this, even if it's just, the practice for yourself or the meditation. Um, but if you're new to Reiki and you've never gone through any of the training, you can still do this. What happens though is when you receive the training, it actually helps to activate the healing capabilities and your channeling abilities to a higher degree. So in level 1, you receive what's called an activation, which is really like a ritual or a blessing, which helps tune you into your senses and your intuition and strengthens your ability to channel the Reiki to yourself or to your family members. In level 2, we learn how to send Reiki at a distance. And level 3 is all about deepening all of the teachings, all of your knowledge. In level 3, you become what's called a Reiki master. And you learn all, I guess I would say, the final teachings. And the last one is level 4, which would be the Reiki Master Teacher, which is what I am. And you can go out and you can teach other people. They're levels 1, 2s, and 3s and 4s of Reiki. So I sort of got into Reiki a few years ago, sort of on a whim. It was a friend of mine. I had gone to her for a mediumship session, actually a channeling session, and I don't know where it came from, but she just sort of shared, like, you should try Reiki, and I'm going to be hosting a level 1 course soon. And I've always, been interested in alternative medicines and essential oils and energy and all that sort of stuff. So I was like, sure. I didn't really, think too much of it, but I took it and I loved it. And I took level 2 and I loved it even more. And I decided that this is something that I really want to share with other people. I want to facilitate that relaxation for other people, and that peace and that calm and just that beautiful energetic feeling that you get after a Reiki session. And then last year, it was just in 2021, I had to have my appendix taken out. So what I found really fascinating was that because I was in pain, it was like an intense burning sensation, which I wasn't sure what it was at first. I kind of actually thought it was some digestive problems at first. Um, so I was trying to treat it in different ways. Like I was trying to do yoga. I was trying to, just move around my system. I was at first doing some Reiki because it wasn't super intense in the beginning. But by the next day, it was. And I was having a really hard time relaxing, a really hard time giving Reiki to myself. And I actually, because of where I'm at, there was a lot of shutdowns with basically the whole world. So, and then when to go to the hospital, I had to go by myself. My husband or my kids weren't able to come in with me at all. And the thought of that actually, I found it quite terrifying. So, on top of being in physical pain, I was actually, my anxiety was through the roof. I was emotional. I was scared. But I knew that there wasn't anything that I could do on my own from home. So, my husband drove me in, and I went into the ER, and they did tests and found out that it was my appendix, and it actually hadn't burst. So it was inflamed. So, what I'm also very happy about is that because of the self awareness that I have of my body, I was able to catch it before I could have been in even more pain. So, I had surgery. And then during recovery, still in the hospital, I remember just, thinking about how grateful I was for everything. And I mean, everybody was just so kind. It wasn't a scary experience like I was afraid it was going to be. Um, and then I was also reflecting on how if I had have taught my husband and my kids how to do Reiki, they could have, eased some of my anxiety and my fears, and maybe even eased some of the pain. Now, like I said, Reiki isn't meant to replace modern medicine. People are still going to, require surgeries and require medications and that sort of thing. That's totally normal. But Reiki is meant to be as a complement for those other types of medicines. So even if my husband or my kids were, able to give me Reiki, I still would have required the surgery. But like I said, it could have helped to lessen the pain, lessen my emotions, reduce my fears, um, settle my anxieties. So that was a big light bulb moment for me, that I realized that I really wanted to share this with as many people as I can. And that's been my goal ever since. Um, I haven't done it yet, but one of my goals is I would love to be able to teach families. Um, Either have families come to me, or I go to families and I teach as many of the people in that home, the mother and the father and the children and everybody. And I just think it would be a beautiful thing to be able to share with one another and connect with one another in that way. Because to take Reiki doesn't mean you have to necessarily go out and teach it or bring clients in and open it up as a business. I mean, lots of people certainly do, and that's also a beautiful thing. But I think it's also a beautiful thing to be able just to share it with your family. So everybody's different. And in Reiki level 1, that's what you learn is how to create a ritual for yourself for self practice, as well as sharing it with your family. So Reiki 2, you learn how to do it on other people. Um, but in level 1, it's just your family. So that is all that I wanted to share today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to share the link to the PDF that's called Energy and Reiki. And at the bottom, I have 2 little practices that you can try at home. One is the Reiki ball. It's called a Reiki ball, and doing some self Reiki on yourself. And the other one is practicing on some of your house plants. You could even use this as an experiment, and maybe you have a plant that's not doing so well, and you're not sure exactly what else to do. You're watering it, giving it light, whatever. Take that one plant and practice and record the changes. I think it would be a fascinating experiment. So, anyways, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. If you have any questions for me at all, just reach out. Again, my name is Jen Merritt. I am the owner of Jen Merritt Live Life Happy. I am a Reiki master teacher. I'm also a holistic wellness coach. I am a fitness instructor, so I also teach fitness classes. I'm trained in therapeutic touch, which is very similar to Reiki, and some other uh, quantum energy healing modalities as well. So reach out if you have any questions, and I want to thank you guys for watching tonight, and have a great night. Thank you for joining me and my little pupper, Lois.